Tadpoles and Elephants. This is an old expression, younger than day-old bread, actually, but bigger than a tadpole. If you can't bring the barista to the tadpoles, well then you're going to have to bring the tadpoles to the barista. It's really a lot like the proverbial 800-pound gorilla or a truckload of bananas, when you don't think about it very much, I mean. How can you tell if there's an elephant in your refrigerator? Look, in psychological jargon, what you really want to know is how big is a molehill? Now I'd like to tell you about a barista I once knew who was most unusual. She had two sides of her mind and a head otherwise covered in unruly blonde hair. She kept her thoughts on one side and her feelings on the other. If this is too technical for you, see me afterwards and I'll give you jars and jars of peanut butter to open and close until you see the elephant tracks. No one, and I mean not one single soul, has ever successfully prosecuted me for making sense. And I'm not going to make it simple just because you think the edge of a coin should count as a flippin' side. That's higher math, and I'm just not going to go there. The point is this. The barista wanted to climb mountains, but she didn't want to fall off. But if you're the size of a tadpole, that cat drinking from the side of my garden pond looks ginormous, and molehills are not usually measured in gallons. Now I calculate that the pond in question is roughly 10,000 cubic inches, but it's the shape of a kidney or something. Shoot, it's not really shaped like a heart at all, except that it's 2.5 feet at the deepest. And that's not neither here nor there. My point is, you wouldn't want to wash an elephant in my garden pond, but you could easily fit 10,000 tadpoles in it. I could show you, but here's the trick. The tadpoles are swimming around so much, and like I said, the pond is pretty damn deep, so that by the time you use your fingers and toes, you've lost count. But trust me, if you stick your bare feet in the pond water, those little nibblers, well, either you will or you won't. I mean, it comes down to either you will or you won't. Zippity-doo-dah. And now I must confess something. I didn't really want to get off onto this tangent, but I'm pretty sure that some toads were having sex in and around my garden pond earlier in spring when nobody was looking. I mean, I didn't put those tadpoles in there. I realize that my credibility, not to mention my laziness, has never been established in a court of law, but get serious, people. We're not children, after all. Which, when you come to think of it now, that is most of our problem. Kids ignore their good sense more often than not. What do they care if they get mud on their shoes or fall out of a tree or jump into a garden pond? They mostly just go with their feelings, the silly twerps. Oh, sure, it's fun until someone gets hurt. Heck, I dang near cut off my thumb trying to carve the cover off a golf ball with my pocket knife. And yes, I cried like an 8-year-old as I went running down the street looking for my mommy, blood gushing everywhere. I got stitches and everything. And you know what? When you do get the cover off a golf ball, it has miles and miles of rubber band wrapped inside. Enough so that you could tie one end onto something on my side of the street and another end on a tree. Well, I'm not going to name names here. I don't know what the statute of limitations are, but jeepers cats, no one drove their car into a tree and no one called the cops. So nothing happened except a little fun and a little blood, and we were kids. It all happened before we could even think about it. The point is, it is harder to get your feelings hurt than to change a light bulb in your refrigerator as you get older. I mean, it's not that hard at all. It happens so often as we grow up that we hardly realize it's happening until it starts to add up. We remember little hurts, and it's not the size as measured in molehills, but the hurt. Someone should make me a T-shirt that says it hurts to hurt. But it doesn't really add up. It just hurts each time. And because pain is easy to remember and we add it up sometimes anyway, we start to think about it. But each hurt really is its own hurt. Not all of those other ones from all the way back when you were a teeny weeny little baby, not much bigger than a tadpole. Well, maybe from when you were a little bigger than a bread box or a molehill. I don't think I can explain this after all. Now that I think about it, I think that I should not have mentioned the elephant in the refrigerator. No one really needs to know about that. So here's what might have to pass for the truth. I have the heart of a chicken. I mean, I avoid doing stuff where I might get hurt as much as possible. I calculate and recalculate the odds of getting my feelings hurt. It is smart, after all, to be careful. I mean, fun is fun until someone gets hurt. Maybe me. But I will take some chances. I mean, life is both harder and easier than it looks, and some things can be fun. I don't really want much. I just want everyone that I like to like me. And I want to be somebody. But, I want to do hard stuff and feel proud of myself. I don't want to fail. Ah, crap. You can't square that circle. You can't even make a kidney shape out of it. You and I both know that there are 1,000 ways to dismiss those simple statements, but they are not completely ridiculous. I have learned to sometimes work around my chicken heart. I have my little tricks. One step at a time, be the cat. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. That would be me. You know, that kind of stuff. And I feel what I feel. I try to feel, and I try to live with it. And I feel good often enough that I will just try something sometimes. Remember that barista? She has heart. Sometimes it's chicken heart. Sometimes it's like an 800-pound gorilla would have. But how would I know that? Simple. I've been 8 years old. And when I look at those jars of peanut butter that I keep in my refrigerator, I see the elephant tracks. I didn't put those tracks there. And 10,000 tadpoles will not become 10,000 toads on my lawn either. I'm just saying. Heart is your only hope. How do creatures decide to risk even a little bit, let alone everything? It's all a mix of hurt and joy. That's the short answer. Sometimes I just want to close my eyes and jump. I think that sometimes if you holler just before you leap and scream on the way down, you forget about yourself just enough. Aim for water deep enough, but with the edge of the garden pond close enough so that you can scramble out. But criminy, for the sake of the tadpoles, don't be stupid. But if you can see your chance, take care and leap. This is not a trick after all. You have to actually take your heart in your hands with each and every chance you take. And once you're airborne, screaming is just a distraction. Eventually you're going to splash into a pond full of tadpoles. Well, no one's that stupid. Maybe. But an elephant slips into my refrigerator sometimes at night when I'm out looking to see what toads do. You can see the tracks in the peanut butter. Or you could have. I made a sandwich. You can believe whatever you want. It's your life, and it's your heart. I gotta go ask my tadpoles about something. I mean, nothing much.